a congressman every day for 2 years while you're in office, you're going to suffer defeat.
What do you make of that, Benny?
Crenshaw. I think Dan Crenshaw's a different kind of congressman, and I think that's ultimately going to be his undoing. He went against folks on Ukraine, and he's gone against the president on some other things, and he's paying the price for that. They want somebody who's going to fall in line and kind of just go up there and vote the way he's supposed to vote.
It's 9 o'clock now, Domingo. We were waiting for results to come in, any time here. I suppose, and I shouldn't assume because you know what that always means, but Wheeler, let me know when Dallas County starts lighting up over there for the early vote that's coming in. Wheeler's getting tired over there just waiting for some of these to light up.
A different tell. Texas gerrymandered because Trump they ordered the congressional redistricting, and they said they were going to pick up 5 seats. I was looking at the results, and I believe that 2 of the districts, Vicente Gonzalez and Henry Cuellar, are both going to win their primaries, and I believe they're going to win 2 of those 5. There's a Republican congressman named Tony Gonzalez down in South Texas who's involved in a scandal where he had an affair with one of his staffers who committed suicide. And right now he's winning 45% to 39%. That might be a pickup seat for the Democrats if he comes out of that race as the Republican nominee. And it's very possible Democrats could win 3 of those 5 and collect all the ones in California. And that's a dummy mander instead of a gerrymander.
That's a good point, because that seat, Tony Gonzalez's seat, which runs from San Antonio way up towards Big Bend, that's gone back and forth, hasn't it, Vinny, from Republican to Democrat?
Yeah. I think if Gonzalez gets through the primary, he hangs on. Now, if he loses to the AK guy, Herrera,
Brandon Herrera, who's running against him right now,
then that could be a very different situation. He's a very polarizing candidate.
But even with everything going on, with the Domingo mentioned about the staffer who he had an affair with, who killed herself.
Incredibly tragic story. Yeah, I still think he hangs on. I really do.
Alfredo, any thoughts on that one?
I think that's a race that we could lose if Tony Gonzalez is the nominee.
Yeah,
okay.
I do think that it poses a big problem.
Matt?
Yeah, I think adultery might still even matter in the Republican primary, barely.
Why is everyone laughing here?
Depends on the race. It depends on
no relation at all.
It may not just be 3 seats. It could be 4, because I think Bobby Pulido in Congressional District 15 also has an excellent chance to win. Now, for it to be a dummy mander, we'd have to actually come out better than 5. But I think, though, the fact that Texas collapsed to a demand from Donald Trump and surrendered districts to him and gerrymandered the entire state, particularly racially gerrymandered it, I think that really reflects the biggest weakness that Texas Republicans have going in the fall, and that is they're not Texas Republicans anymore. They're just Trump Republicans.
But Jason, and a little bit more about this stay. I'm looking into it. The stay was
from the Supreme Court.
The stay from the Supreme Court that separates the Dallas votes before and after 7 p.m. was requested by Ken Paxton. And it was requested based on a state law that was passed last session that says before you request a stay, you have to ask the Attorney General. And so the Attorney General has to be part of the hearing. His office wasn't asked, wasn't invited, or notified anyway. And so he's asking under the law, passed a bill by Senator Betancourt, that this be overruled.
But wouldn't Paxton want to run against potentially Jasmine Crockett if we're waiting on her votes?
Maybe General Paxton didn't think that through.
I think that we're missing the forest for the trees here. Again, This is vote suppression. This is setting the precedent to suppress vote. That is the most important thing to them. They'll deal with whether it's Jasmine or whether it's James Tallarico, but they want a precedent in which they can control what happens on Election Day through the courts that they control.
Even though the Democratic Party totally messed up on this and didn't tell anybody how they were going to vote this time. I think this still goes to the party.
Start at 7 a.m. and they stop at 7 p.m.
They've always done
that. Is the precedent.
As long as I've been involved in politics, disruptions on Election Day often resulted in them extending the polling places, like people standing in line, all types of things like that. And I think we've seen now, for the last 10 years, a series of court rulings, whether they're in state court or in federal court, that go to suppressing or making it harder to participate in elections.
Well, you have delays tonight. Williamson and El Paso both delayed for an hour. Those have not been affected or changed in any way. Only Blue Dallas County has been singled out.
Well, speaking of standing in line, Tiffany Liu has been covering the Dallas County turnout. She is with a voter tonight at 9:07. Tiffany, tell us who this is and why he's up so late.
Well, Jason, this is Manuel Vasquez, and he just walked out moments ago when we arrived at Dallas College Pleasant Grove Center, and he just told me that he wasn't able to vote tonight. He got here, he was in line around 7:05. Tell me about what you experienced today.
Yeah, when we tried to walk up to the polling site, it was a little right at 7:05. They shut down the doors. They said they didn't hear anything about us getting extended to be able to vote. We told them, hey, there's a court. We showed them the Facebook post from Dallas County saying that we're still able to vote all the way till 9 o'clock. Shut the doors. Everything was closed down. And then at the end, we did see when they were leaving, the judge yelled out, like, I have a real job tomorrow I have to get to, and just left without even, giving us consideration. There was about 30 people in line, so there was plenty of people here. A lot of them were confused. Where do we vote? Where can we vote? They went to other locations, and they were told, no, you have to come vote here. Then when we got here, they weren't allowed to vote. So there was a lot of confusion with the voters. Even try to call Dallas County elections officials, and they weren't able to. They were saying we're going to send judges out there, but at the end they were like it was just too late. They weren't able to have them here on time to take our provisional vote.
Right, so right now it's after 9 o'clock. You've been here for over 2 hours. Why did you decide to stay and to wait this long?
It's our right. I mean, it's our right as American U.S. citizens to vote, and I thought strongly, like, hey, if I don't talk about it, nobody else wants to talk about it. I wanted it to be known. This area might not be the richest area, might not be the best area to live in, but it's still our home. We still citizens of Dallas County. We still should be able to vote, and them not allowing us to vote is just a really injustice in today's election.
So you told me that around 30 people were here at 7 o'clock, but right now I only saw a couple of you trickle out. Did people just sort of leave because they couldn't wait anymore?
Yeah, a lot of them had small kids. A lot of them were frustrated from just being told to go to different poll places. And then we did get a phone call finally from one of the Dallas County election officials saying that they're not sending no judges. They're not going to be able to take provisional ballots for anybody. That's when we started making a list just to maybe somebody out there would listen to us and be like, hey, we still have people here that wanted to vote, and just get their phone number and contact information if there is anything that can be done.
So what's your next step right now?
Definitely complaining. We've been complaining to Dallas County election officials. We're trying to reach out to our elected officials here for Dallas, city of Dallas, so hopefully we could get some type of resolution with this.
Yeah, well, I know you waited a long time. You try to be very patient tonight. Thank you for speaking with us. We really appreciate it, and hopefully something gets resolved for you here. You just heard from Manuel Vasquez of Dallas County. He wasn't able to vote tonight, even though he got here right around 7 o'clock. Again, he mentioned the poll workers. It was shut down right around 7. They said they weren't able to stay here and let them vote, and so he didn't get to vote tonight. We're starting to hear some more of these issues from our viewers, and so we're going to keep on looking into that. We're going to contact, of course, we've been contacting the Dallas County Elections Administrator, and we're hoping to hear from them soon. Let's head it back to you in the studio.
All right, Tiffany, thanks for that. So just to lay out what she just said there, these Dallas County poll workers said at 7 o'clock, we're closing things up, come hell or high water. It doesn't matter what this Dallas County judge said. We're closing things up. 8:45 or so, we get this, or 8:30 or so, get this from the Supreme Court. That adds to the confusion, as Mr. Vasquez said a moment ago, about whether he can cast his ballot. We are waiting right now for Senator John Cornyn to come out in Austin and speak to reporters down there. He's not having an election watch party, traditional one. They had one planned. They decided to cancel that and just set up in a conference room at a hotel in downtown Austin. We're also waiting for Colin Allred to come out in the next few minutes as well. He's at the African American Museum in Dallas near Fair Park there. So we expect both of these folks to come out in the next few minutes, and when they come out, we will take their comments live here. But getting back to, so what happens here? I mean, it's 9:12. I don't think the big board's going to fill up tonight. It may not fill up tomorrow. So, Domingo, what happens if you're one of these campaigns who's looking for finality?
You got to keep campaigning. You don't know if you're in it or out.